Welcome back. In today's episode, we have another lesson. The 52 business lessons I learned in business, how I screwed up, and I don't want you to do what I did. Stay tuned to a very interesting lesson, lesson number 13.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. For the last 12 weeks, I've been explaining some of the business lessons and mistakes that I've made over the years and trying to share those with you so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Now, I make it very public that I've been an entrepreneur for the last 18 years, but when you really look at it and you go back to the old days, I've actually been working for myself for the last 38 years. Wow, amazing when I actually look at this. But if we go back in time, when I was a young fellow, I was no longer 6'4", I was probably 6'2". I was tall all my life. But I originally started out cutting grass. I was a caddy. I was a maintenance guy. I sold men's suits, life insurance, bus boy, ski instructor, and even a water ski instructor and an adult or a singles adult sleepaway camp. This week's lesson comes from the time when I was a caddy. I was 15 years old. During the summers, I spent every day at the golf course caddying for individuals, very wealthy individuals, at a very exclusive country club in New Jersey. The lessons that I took away from that were immense. Matter of fact, one of my original mentors was someone that I caddied for every single weekend. Every Saturday, every Sunday, I caddied for him. We spent 4 hours together, and we did that for years. And one year, he was a very good golfer, but not the best golfer in the club. And one year, he made it to the club championship. We were in the round of 8. We then got down to 4. We then got down to 2, and we were in the finals. He had never done this in his entire career as a golfer. Now, if you're not familiar with golf, it's the club gets together and then figures out who's the best player. And it's a shoot-off. It's a competition, and then it goes one-on-one after you get down to like a round of 16. Well, he'd made it all the way to the finals, which was amazing. We just knocked one opponent off, etc. It was a really, really tight match, and we had come down to the last hole, and we needed to win this hole in order to force a sudden death playoff, which we did. We won the hole. We moved on to the playoff. The first hole of the playoff, which is sudden death, the person that wins that hole wins the tournament. And in this case, wins the match, the tournament, the cup, everything. They would be crowned the club champion. We make a putt on the first hole in order to force a second hole. We tied that one, and we moved on to the second hole. Both players drive. My guy drives. Both in the fairway. Great position. We're the second to go. So in other words, the person we're playing, their ball was furthest from the hole. They hit. I'm not quite sure where it went. And now it was our turn. Now, he and I had been partners. I had been his caddy for years, and I really knew his game. I could club him. I could help him with putts. There was all kinds. I was his advisor. I was the one helping him to play at the highest level. I knew what he was going to do, when he was going to do it, how he was going to do it, and I anticipated the issues and sometimes kept him from himself. That's what a good caddy does. Well, here we are. We've got to get the ball on the green. We're about 150 yards out, and he's debating between two clubs, meaning that maybe it's a 7-iron, maybe it's an 8-iron, and he wanted to hit the 8-iron. And I knew if he was going to hit the 8-iron, he really needed to go after it. He really needed to get aggressive, and I didn't think that was the right play. I said, look, take the 7-iron. And just smooth it up there. Just take your time, get centered, focus, and just make a nice, easy pass at it. And it'll be perfect. Well, I talked him into it. He took my advice. He took the 7-iron, gripped down, and he ripped it. He caught it clean. And this ball sailed over the green into the rough. nestled up by some trees. He absolutely killed it. I was wrong. I suggested too much club. He trusted me. What I failed to take into account at that moment is the adrenaline rushing through his body, how hyped up he was. He could have he could have broken the club probably with 2 fingers. He was just so intense, so jacked up, so much adrenaline running that literally he just hit that club further than I had ever seen him hit that club in 3 or 4 years. This was my mistake. It was my responsibility to know what his situation was, where he was at, where his head was at, what he was capable of, and what he wasn't capable of. Now, at the end of the day, he never blamed me for that, but you can find that at this point, 38 years later, I'm still talking about it. And I still feel that I'm responsible because I was the one that he was trusting. I was the advisor. So why am I bringing this up as lesson number 13? Well, I feel responsible that it was my call and I should have known better. I didn't, but I should have. But at the end of the day, it was his game. It was his round of golf. It was his clubs. It was his club championship. I was there as support. I was there as a confidant. I was there to help him. But at the end of the day, it was his call. And many of us go through life, in our businesses, we have advisors. We have confidants. We have people around us that we trust. But at the end of the day, it's our call. Choose your team wisely. Take their advice under advisement. But no, at the end of the day, it's your call. It's your responsibility. You're the one held accountable. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.